Good afternoon to all of y'all. In this video, we wish to get the expressions for force and pressure on a surface due to incidence of an oblique EM wave. An oblique EM wave is incident on a surface. We would like to get the expressions for force and pressure. First of all, an electromagnetic waves have dual nature. So they exhibit wave nature. So the wave nature has got a certain wavelength lambda and a particle nature. So the particle will have a momentum p. Any particle, the particle of an electromagnetic wave is called as a photon. Okay. So the particle will have a momentum p. The wavelength lambda of the electromagnetic wave and the momentum p of the particle are related as p into lambda is equal to h, which is the Planck's constant. This is the Planck's constant. Yes. And the energy of the photon is given by the energy of the photon is h nu, where nu is the frequency of the wave, or nu is c by lambda. Yes. So the energy of a photon, E is the energy of the photon, that is given by hc by lambda. Now, when a certain energy is incident, part of it would be reflected, part would be absorbed. Yes. So by the energy conservation principle, incident energy is equal to the reflected energy plus the absorbed energy. Now we divide by EI, you get 1 is equal to ER by EI plus EA by EI. ER by EI is called as the reflectivity or the reflection coefficient. It is denoted by R. And EA by EI is called as the absorption coefficient or the absorptivity, A. So we have the reflection coefficient plus the absorption coefficient equal to 1. So this is one basic thing which we need to bear in mind. Then, before we go to an oblique collision, let us take normal incidence. Let us take the case of a normal incidence. If you have a normal incidence like this, let us say there are n photons striking this surface. So each photon has got an energy hc by lambda. So n photons in the wave. There are n photons in the wave. So the energy of the wave would be n into hc by lambda. This is denoted by the symbol u. That is the energy of the wave. What is the power of the wave? The power of the wave, let us say, is the amount of energy that crosses a given area in unit time. So if you take some area here, yes, if you take some area here, if the n photons cross this area in a time t, the power of the wave would be u by t, the total energy crossed in unit time. That is equal to n into hc by lambda by t. N by t is the number of photons crossing the area in unit time. That is n hc by lambda, where n is nothing but number of photons crossing the given area in unit time. Yes, number of photons crossing, let me write it neatly. So I will say n is photons per second simply through the given area. Yeah. So we have u as this is the symbol used is p. So p is the power of the wave. We can talk about the intensity of the wave. The intensity of the wave is the amount of energy crossing a unit area held normal to the direction of propagation. Yes, so this is the area A, which is normal to the direction of propagation. That's very important. You can't have the area like this tilted. It has to be perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So the intensity of the wave will be simply the power divided by the area. Yeah? The amount of energy crossing unit area held normal to the direction of propagation in unit time. So the power by the area gives you the intensity. That is, P we know is NHC by lambda. You have an A here. N by A we shall call it as N dash Hc by lambda. That is the intensity. Where N dash is the photons per second per meter square held normal to the direction of propagation. Okay. Now, the next thing we would like to see is the change in the momentum of the photons. Change in the momentum of the n photons. We assume that there are n photons are striking. So, change in the momentum of n photons. Now, if the reflection coefficient is R, yes, nr photons will get reflected, and if the absorption coefficient is A, n into A photons will get absorbed. So, if you see now, if the momentum P is this way, for a reflected photon, the momentum will reverse its direction and the change in momentum will be 2p for a reflected photon. Whereas for a photon which is absorbed, yes, the momentum becomes 0. So the change in momentum is only p. So how do we write the change in the momentum of n photons? Delta p. Delta p, the change in momentum of the photon, that is also the, this is the change in momentum of the photons. It is also the momentum transferred to the surface. It is also the momentum transferred to the surface. Yes? Because momentum would be conserved, there would be the net force is 0. So whatever is the change in momentum of the photons, that will be the change in the momentum of the surface as well, and hence that is the momentum transferred to the surface. So this will be n into r into 2p for the reflected photons plus n into a into p. That will be the change in momentum of the photons. So we can now write this as N into P into 2R plus A. This is P is H by lambda, R plus A is 1. So we can put this as R plus 1. Yes, 2R can be written as R plus R, R plus A is 1. And what will this be? NH by lambda. We saw that the energy of the n photons is n into hc by lambda. So NH by lambda will be U by C. So therefore delta P would be U by C into R plus 1. That is the change in the momentum. Yes, that will be the change in the momentum. What about the force now? The force will be given by the rate of change of momentum. So the force F is delta P by the time t in which this momentum change is taking place. Yes, that is, we are assuming all the photons strike the surface. So delta P by t. So delta P by t would be U by T into C into R plus 1. U by T is the power. So the force F would be P by C into R plus 1. Yes, where P is the power. What about the pressure? The pressure P, yes, this is the power, so it's not, I'll call this as P dash. The pressure P dash will be the force, normal force. Remember, this force is the normal force. It acts normal to the surface. Yes, the incident energy is also normal to the surface. So the force is also normal. So this is the normal force. The normal force divided by the area. So the normal force is P by C into R plus 1 by the area, and P by A is the intensity. So the pressure P dash would be the intensity by C into R plus 1. Okay? These are the expressions for the change in momentum, the force, and the pressure for normal incidence. Now let us take oblique incidence. If we take an oblique incidence, the energy, power and intensity will not change. The expressions will not change. Let us take a surface here and let us say you have an oblique incidence. This area is still A and this is incident like this. Okay? So there are again n photons. So now if you see, the energy is going to be n into hc by lambda. So it is the same expression, whether it is normal or oblique, the energy of the photons is the same. The power is u by t. That is going to be n by t into hc by lambda. That is n dash hc by lambda. That expression is also the same. The number of photons crossing a given area. Now, for the intensity, if you see the expression for the intensity, I would be P by the area held normal to the direction of propagation. So you should not take this area. What you have to take is the area which is perpendicular or normal to the direction of propagation. So this area is still A. So therefore this would be n dash hc, not n dash, this is n. This is n hc by lambda by A. N by A is n dash. So this will be n dash hc by lambda. So you find that the expressions for the total energy, power and the intensity don't change just because the surface is, just because the incident ray is striking the surface in an oblique way. You can understand it this way: the incident ray is this way. If you held the surface normal or you turned it this way and made the incident energy oblique, that wouldn't matter for the power and the intensity. Just because how you hold the surface does not change the total energy, power and the intensity of the wave. That is why all the expressions are the same. Now let us see the change in the momentum. Now there will be a momentum change in the normal direction and there will be a momentum change in the tangential direction as well. Let us try to understand these. If the momentum of a photon is this way p, this angle is theta, so this is also theta, so you have p cos theta and this is p sin theta. Yeah, this is p sin theta. Let me this is the incident, this is theta. So I am resolving into two components. This is theta, this is theta, this is p sin theta, small p, this is p cos theta. Now for a reflected photon, this p cos theta will get reversed and p sin theta will remain unaffected and the photon will get reflected this way. Yes, it is incident this way and gets reflected this way. It follows the laws of reflection. The angle of reflection would be the same as the angle of incidence. So the change in momentum for the photon is 2p cos theta in the normal direction. And in the tangential direction, there is no change. There is no change. Delta p in the tangential direction is 0. Yeah? This is for a reflected photon. Now, if you have an absorbed photon, what happens? If you have an absorbed photon, you will find that this is p cos p sin theta, this is p sin theta, this is p cos theta. So p cos theta will be absorbed, so the momentum becomes 0. So the change in momentum will be p cos theta in the normal direction. It will be p cos theta in the normal direction. And in the tangential direction, p sin theta will become 0. So p sin theta is in the tangential direction. That these are the change in the momentum. So let us take the total change in the momentum in the normal direction first. So delta P normal would be, let us take for the reflection first, n into r. Yes, total number of photons is n, reflection coefficient is r. So n into r will get reflected. So n into r into 2p cos theta. That will be the change in momentum for the reflected photons. For the absorbed photons, it will be n into a into p cos theta. Yeah. So we can simplify this. N into p and cos theta is common, and you have 2r plus a. So p can be put as h by lambda This is cos theta, r plus a is 1, so r plus 1 you will have, and nh by lambda is nothing but u by c. So u by c into cos theta into r plus 1. That will be the change in momentum in the normal direction. Yes. What is the change in momentum in the tangential direction? In the tangential direction, there is no change in momentum for the reflected photons. There is change in momentum only for the absorbed photons. So delta P tangential would be n into A into P sine theta. N to A into P sine theta. That is n into A, P is h by lambda into sine theta. And nh by lambda is u by c. So you will have u by c into sine theta into A. That will be the change in momentum in the tangential direction. If there is no absorption, that is if A is 0, there will be no force in the tangential direction. Here there will be no change in the momentum in the tangential direction if A is 0. Now what about for the forces? Force is the change in momentum per unit area, per unit time, sorry. Change in momentum per unit time. So let us take the normal force. The normal force would be the change in momentum in the normal direction by the time, t. So what is the change in momentum in the normal direction? It is u by c cos theta into r plus 1 by t. U by t is the power. So you have p by c cos theta into r plus 1. That is the normal force. What about the tangential force? F tangential. F tangential would be delta P tangential by the time t. Delta P tangential is u by c sine theta into A by t. U by t is again the power. So P sine theta, P by c, P is the power, sine theta into A. That is the tangential force. What about the pressure now? We would like to see what is the pressure. Pressure, we must know, is the normal force. Tangential forces do not exert any pressure on the surface. It is only the normal force that exert a force. So the pressure P dash by call it is the normal force by the area. Now this area is the area of the surface. So when you have a wave like this and this angle is theta, yeah, this is theta, so this plus this is 90, this is also theta, that angle. Let me show it properly to you. Let me show it here. This is the surface, this is the area A we are talking about. This is the area A. So this area would be, this is A. If this angle is theta, this plus this is 90, this plus 90, this is theta. This area would be A by cos theta. Remember, it's the hypotenuse and this is the adjacent side, so this is A cos theta. So the pressure P dash would be, yes, normal force. The normal force is P by C cos theta. The power P by C cos theta into r plus 1 by the area. The area is A by cos theta. P by A is the intensity. P by A will be the intensity. So the intensity divided by C into cos squared theta. There is a cos squared term coming here. Cos squared theta into R plus 1. That would be the pressure expression for the pressure. Thank you.